All right. So where did we end up last week? We were doing okay. So I think last week we spoke about uh, Kauravas celebrating Abhimanyu's death, and then Arjuna takes a vow to kill Jayadrata. The reason being he ensured that nobody was there to support Abhimanyu in the Chakravyuha. So that's his vow, and the following day he makes sure Satyaki is um, protecting Yudhishthira, and he leaves for the battle. So starts off, he confronts Drona first. He manages to go around Drona and enters the formation. The formation is a unique formation, and it's uh, headed by Drona. So once Arjuna passes him, there's others that Arjuna has to fight with. He defeats Kritavarma, and then he moves on. While he's fighting with others, he's killing a number of kings and princes, a number of the soldiers. It's almost midday. There is an instance where the horses are tired, and he suggests to Krishna that they should take a break. He creates a small lake over there and fences the entire place out, so the horses can drink their water, they can rest, and they can then resume their duties. In the meantime, on the ground, Arjuna has been an amazing archer. Nobody is able to defeat him, even though he's not on a chariot. So his valor is recognized by Krishna and the others. They are not able to kill him even then. Now, it's here on the other side, Drona wants to capture Yudhishthira. So he charges he charges the kings, etc., a lot of them, and he kills a number of them. Yudhishthira is not sure what's happened to Arjuna because Arjuna is the only one who's entered the formation, and he sends Satyaki to go and check out what's happening with Arjuna. In the absence of Satyaki, Drona tries to capture Yudhishthira. In fact, Drona kills Yudhishthira's horses and nearly catches him. Sahadeva comes and rescues Yudhishthira. So I think we finished there. Yeah, I think we ended up there last week. So I'll go to today's this one. So we are taking off from there. So Arjuna defeats Kritavarma. He moves on. Now, once the horses are all again refreshed, they go towards. They are headed in the direction where Jayadrata is. Duryodhan confronts Arjuna. Now, Duryodhan, I think I explained in the last lesson that Drona gives him an armor with some special mantras or some incantations. So that particular incantation protects him from all the weapons. So now Arjuna is fighting with Duryodhana, and there is no effect of any of Arjuna's weapons on Duryodhana. So Krishna is surprised. Yes, what's happening? Then Arjuna says, "Oh, look, this is the case. Drona, our teacher, he showed me how to use this armor, and he showed me how to tie it and how to say the incantations. And he's given that armor to Duryodhana. But look at Duryodhana, he's wearing it like a girl. So the description is like he's wearing it like a gown, like a girl's gown, and Arjuna says, I can easily destroy it. That's not a problem. I've got a special weapon. So he pulls out that weapon and he uses his mantras and he shoots it. Now, when he does that, Ashwatthama, who is not far from there, realizes what Arjuna is doing and he shoots an arrow and counters that weapon. So Krishna says, okay, now quickly use the weapon again. Arjuna says, look, that weapon, I can only use it once. If I use it the second time, it'll kill our own army. I don't want to do that. But then he told Krishna, don't worry, I will take care of this. So what he does is he shoots the horses, he kills the charioteer of Duryodhana, and he destroys the chariot. So Duryodhana has to come, and yes, he's actually on the ground now. And what Arjuna does is he starts shooting at his feet because they are not protected. Immediately, Duryodhana runs away from there. So that's how Arjuna gets around that incident. Then on this side, Satyaki, he goes around Drona, and he's also reached Arjuna. So he's now helping Arjuna also. Both of them are fighting with the Kaurava army. On the other side, Bhima is fighting with one of the Rakshasas. There's a massive battle there, and Bhima finally defeats him. Gatothkacha, also that Rakshasa Alambusha, he goes then from there, he moves to Gatothkacha. Gatothkacha also defeats him and he runs away from the battlefield. Satyaki, along the way, he finds Dushasana. Dushasana is defeated very easily and he moves on. Now, back here where Yudhishthira is, Drona is killing a number of kings, including Drishtaketu and Chaitanya. Now, the reason I said these two names is, if you remember in the past, there is a king by the name Shishupala. Shishupala at Rajyagna insults Krishna and his head is severed, if you remember. So his son is Drishtaketu. Drishtaketu is fighting on the side of the Pandavas because he thinks they are right. He did not like what his father used to do. And Drona kills him. Chaitanya, on the other hand, he is Jarasandha's son. Jarasandha, if you remember, Krishna actually tells Yudhishthira before doing the Rajya Yagna that Jarasandha needs to be killed. He has about 100. He needs to. Jarasandha has about 87 kings captured, and if he has a few more, he reaches 100. He'll actually have incredible powers if he kills them all. So Krishna says, takes Bhima and Arjuna and goes, and Bhima actually kills Jarasandha in a massive battle, duel. So it's his son is Chaitanya. They're both massive, very great warriors, but Drona finally kills them. Drishtadyumna's son was also killed, and here Drishtadyumna is very upset. He challenges Drona, and he has a massive battle with Drona. Then things move. Bhima comes in front of Drona. And the reason Bhima comes in front of Drona is Yudhishthira now hasn't heard from. Yes, yes.
Oh, I just had a question. How come Jarasandha's sons are fighting for the Pandavas?
Yeah, so Krishna installs Jarasandha's son, and Jarasandha's son pledges loyalty to Krishna.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Okay. So, where was I? Yep. So here Satyaki is also missing. Yudhishthira is quite concerned because he sent Satyaki. He can't. He doesn't know what's going on with Arjuna because he can't hear Arjuna's Gandiva or his counsel, and he cannot hear Satyaki's counsel either, or he doesn't know what's going on there. He feels that he sent Satyaki into towards his own death, and he's quite scared for Satyaki. So he wants to send Bhima. Now Bhima confronts Drona. Both of them have a battle, and Drona Bhima is now moving away from Drona and saying, "I don't want to fight with you." And Drona says, "No, no, you have to fight with me." Bhima says, "Look, when my brother can do it, why can't I do it? You fight, you've got other kings you have to fight with," and he goes past him. Bhima comes across Kritavarma, who's in the next stage. He fights with him and defeats him. Karna now comes in front of Bhima. He is also defeated. Duryodhana approaches Drona again and says, "Look, we are losing to even Bhima. What are you doing? Come back and help us fight." He says, "I'm here to capture Yudhishthira. You go and fight. I've given you the armor. Go and fight." So Duryodhana goes back. And what happens is Bhima challenges some other kings, and Karna returns. Guess what? For the second time, Karna is beaten by Bhima. And this is all using bow and arrow. Nowhere over here Bhima is using his mace. Traditionally, we know that Bhima uses his mace a lot, but here he's using his bow and arrow, and that's it. Karna is defeated again. When Karna is defeated, 5 of Duryodhana's brothers challenge Bhima. He kills them with his bow and arrow. Another 5 approach him, challenge him. He kills them too. Then after that, another 6 come, Duryodhana's brothers. So that day, he's killed 16 of Duryodhana's brothers that way. One of them is Vikarna. Bhima actually feels sad at this stage. The reason, Vikarna was the only one who pointed out the flaws of Draupadi's Vastraharan during the Vastraharan period in Sabha Parva. So he feels sad for him, but he still has to fight, so he continues. Here, Karna comes back and challenges Bhima again. Okay, and this time Karna actually does a good job. He destroys Bhima's chariot. Okay, so Bhima is now on the floor. He picks up his sword and shield. Karna destroys that too, and Bhima then runs around to Karna behind him, and he says, "Come down and fight with me like a man." Okay, like as per the laws, I'm challenging you to a duel. You're using weapons and I'm unarmed. Come down and fight. Karna is not getting down off the chariot. He's actually scared that Bhima can kill him. So he continues to use his bow and arrow. So what Bhima does is he runs away from there, and he runs towards some dead elephants that are there, where Arjuna would have killed these elephants and moved on. So what he does is he picks up those elephants, the chariots, and he starts throwing it towards Karna. And Karna is using his skill, arrows, bow and arrows, and he's destroying all of those elephants and all the other chariots and other things that are being thrown at him. Anyway, Bhima then, while throwing, he comes close to Karna and he starts mocking him, and he says, "You call yourself a great warrior and you can't challenge me to a duel." Okay. Karna says, "Well, I've defeated you now." And in response to that, Bhima says, "I defeated you so many times. This is the first time you're defeating me. Okay, and you call yourself a great warrior, and you're not coming down onto the floor and challenging me." Arjuna sees what's happening, and he comes to Bhima's help, rescues him, and takes him and goes. Bhima then finds another chariot, and he goes on that. Now, while Arjuna comes here, Satyaki starts fighting with another king called Burishrava. Burishrava actually fatally hurts Satyaki, and Satyaki is on the ground. Burishrava actually holds him by the hair, and Arjuna sees this and shoots off his arm. And Burishrava then finally decides he can't fight with Arjuna or anybody because he doesn't have arms anymore. He gives up his life there. He just goes into a yogic meditation trance and he gives up his life. Karna, Ashwatthama, and Kripacharya, now they challenge Arjuna, because Arjuna is getting very close to Jayadrata. Okay. Uh, the thing is, just like what happened with Abhimanyu, some of these kings now start challenging Arjuna on their own. And Krishna realizes that uh, the way they're going, it's going to be, the sun is going to set very quickly. Bhima, Satyaki, Arjuna, they're all doing their best to go past all these soldiers. And these soldiers are now have concentrated their aim at Arjuna. Uh, so what Krishna says to Arjuna is, Arjuna, this way we are not going to be able to kill Jayadrata before sundown. So I'm going to use my Maya and I'm going to conceal the sun. You continue challenging all these heroes and we'll go past them and we'll get Jayadrata. But when we get to Jayadrata, you need to make sure that you sever his head and make sure the head goes to a certain forest which is not far from the Kurukshetra battlefield, where his father is sitting down under a tree meditating. It's evening Sandhya Vandan time. So he's actually doing his evening rituals. He's sitting under a tree and doing his rituals. He says, that's where he'll be sitting. I need the head to fall on his lap. Arjuna asks, why? He says, oh, look, this is the thing. Jayadrata, when he was born, he was given his father was told that whoever, that his son will be killed uh, in a battle. Okay. So his father, with Jayadrata's father, he actually gives his own son a boon, saying, whoever kills him, who's responsible for his head to fall on the ground, that person's head will break into 100 pieces. So now, if Arjuna kills Jayadrata and his head falls on the floor, Arjuna's head will be destroyed. He doesn't want that to happen. So this is why he does it. So now immediately Arjuna decides, yes, he's going to do he has a strategy in place. Krishna's uh, uses his Maya and covers the sun. He shields the sun. And Arjuna then swiftly uses his bow and arrow and moves all these kings like Karna, Ashwatthama, and all out of the way, and he goes closer to Jayadrata. Okay, and Jayadrata also now realizes that it's dark. All the soldiers are thinking it's dark. Duryodhana, everyone's thinking it's dark, and they're all happy. Jayadrata now, let's go. He comes in front of the defenses, and he's now exposed himself in front of Arjuna. And Krishna then uses Maya to pull out that shield that's covering the sun. And Arjuna then shoots his arrow in such a way, he uses a crescent shaped moon, he shoots his head in such a way that the head is severed and it goes and falls right on his own father, Jayadrata's father's lap. When Jayadrata's father gets up, the head falls on the floor and Jayadrata's father's head blows up into 100 pieces. Now, once this happens, the Pandava army is really happy. They are fighting with renewed vigor. Okay, the sun has set today on the 14th day, but the war does not stop because the Kauravas, which is Duryodhana and others, they're very angry with Arjuna and Krishna, and they want to continue the battle. So the battle rages on. Here, there are a few instances where Gatothkacha has a massive battle with Ashwatthama. Bhima, Satyaki, and Arjuna, they are stationed where they are, and they are fighting with the Kauravas at the other end. Karna now wants to. Karna is now telling Kripacharya that he's going to kill Arjuna tonight. Okay, he's boasting, and Krishna overhears this. Okay, Karna is boasting that he's going to destroy the Pandavas, he's going to kill Arjuna, and uh, he's going to bring victory to the Kaurava army. Kripacharya, who's a sensible man, he says, "Look, you are boasting, you're talking too much, right? You need to show your valor through your actions, not through your words." And he says a few other things, right? Karna does not like that at all. So he rants on. In fact, he starts insulting Kripacharya and he says, "You're an old man. I don't know why you are in this battle. It's Duryodhana, me, and Shakuni and Dushasana. We will destroy the entire Pandava army tonight. You don't even have to be here." Now, not far from there is Ashwatthama. Ashwatthama's uncle is Kripacharya. And he gets very angry with Karna and he takes a sword and he wants to kill Karna. Here, Duryodhana immediately comes and pacifies Ashwatthama and he asks Karna to stop talking. Excuse me. And Duryodhana finally pacifies Ashwatthama and everyone goes their way. The warriors are now, because it's dark, they sometimes the warriors are not don't know who they are fighting with. They're sometimes killing their own men. So what happens is, even though there's moonlight, all the warriors start carrying torches and they're fighting. And there's a beautiful description of how the torches are lit. The chariots have torches, the people fighting on the ground battlefield have torches and they're fighting. Okay, now the Karna is boasted, and Krishna said he makes sure Arjuna is not close to Karna. Okay, he has his reasons. Um, Karna is now fighting the Pandava army, and he's actually uh, killing a lot of soldiers. He's creating havoc among the Pandava army. Yudhishthira is now scared and he says, "Look, today Karna is shining. He is actually causing a lot of trouble for the Pandava army. Arjuna, go and fight with, challenge Karna." Krishna stops Arjuna and says, "You don't do it. Send Gatothkacha." Okay, so immediately they call Gatothkacha, and Gatothkacha goes and he starts fighting with Karna. This is a beautiful description of how Gatothkacha is fighting with Karna. He uses his illusionary powers. He's in the sky. He's sometimes pretending to be dead, or he's in the he disappears in front of everyone. He's appearing somewhere else. But surprisingly, Karna that evening is really good. He's countering everything Gatothkacha has to give him. Okay, there are all the other soldiers around Karna that are dying, and they start running away too, some of them. But Karna is challenging uh, um Gatothkacha with all his might and valor. And Duryodhana tells all his soldiers, "You need to go and fight. Gives support Karna wherever, whatever you can, support Karna." All the soldiers now come back and tell Karna, "Look, you really need to kill him, or we can't handle Gatothkacha. Okay, we are dying under his weapons because he's showering weapons all over the field." Gatothkacha. Karna finally has to use the weapon that Indra had given him. If you remember, Karna's exchanges his armor, the invisible armor, impenetrable armor, for a weapon from Indra by the name Shakti. So he's finally forced to use that because the Kaurava army is not able to sustain the attacks of Gatothkacha. So he uses that Shakti and it hits Gatothkacha in his chest, and Gatothkacha can't do anything. He knows he's dying. So he wants to help the Pandava army, he increases his size. He becomes a giant, such a big giant, and he falls on the Kaurava army. Okay, killing a lot of the Kauravas. Now, at this stage, the battle stops. Okay, actually, not here. The warriors are still fighting, uh, and yep, sorry, no, battle actually stops here. My apologies. I missed a couple of things before this battle with Gatothkacha and Karna. I think I was getting confused with that. My apologies. Anyway, so the battle stops here. Uh, and once the battle stops, Yudhishthira is very sad. He's starts bringing back memories of when Gatothkacha was helping them. He says, "Oh, Draupadi was not able to climb the mountains. He's helped. He's shown us around the forests when we were in our Vanvas." So he talks about a lot of things. Arjuna is also very sad, but Krishna is smiling and he's very happy. And Bhima is also very sad. So they ask, Arjuna asks Krishna, why he is smiling? Why he is so happy? So then Krishna says, look, this is the deal. Karna had the weapon called Shakti and he was going to use it on you tonight. That's why I stopped you from going there. Okay? It was given to him by Indra. Now, the other thing is, Gatothkacha is a Rakshasa. He is one of those Rakshasas that I was meant to kill. If he did not die of Karna's weapon, I would have killed him. And the reason is, while he fought for you, for your side, he is really a Rakshasa who would eventually cause a lot of trouble for Brahmanas and for Dharma. He wouldn't continue his dharmic ways. So he needed to die. And this way, and the reason I'm happy is now that the Shakti is used, you can now challenge Karna any day and kill him. So this is what happens that day. And that night, everyone goes to bed. This is after midnight. Everyone's tired. They go to bed. I'll stop here and we'll talk about day 15 next week. Anyone has questions?